Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a practice session and just going over, I guess we're going to try to hone in on a good setup with as few steps as possible. So we're going to do a few laps at Sonoma Raceway in the Ferrari, and then we're going to come back in and try to make as many improvements to the car setup in one shot using Motec, okay? Okay, so we've loaded up a session. And now let's see the setup. We're just going to go with this pretty much baseline Watkins lens setup that was posted by Virtual Racing School. So we're going to take that setup and we're going to try to apply it to here. Let's go ahead and load it up again, just so we know that this is the unchanged setup. Okay, so then let's go ahead and we'll do a baseline and we'll go out for practice. Make sure your telemetry is running as always. Of course, Watkins Glen and Sonoma Raceway couldn't be more different from each other, so we do expect this setup to be pretty off, and that's a good thing because that'll make this exercise more fun. Oh boy, I got off. Alright, so the car got a little bit squirrely there into the carousel. Because I'm talking probably and not paying attention. But anyway. Through the S's. Okay, so we're getting a lot of oversteer on the fast corners. That's one thing that's obvious already. Now the tires are of course coming up to temperature, so the car's starting to feel a little bit better. I'm completely off my mark there. That's okay. Right now I'm still exploring. Car sometimes gets light there on the exit. Completely broke too late, way too late on the brakes there. Of course, I'm not using any shift points today. Jesus. So going through turn 10 or 11, I forgot which one that is, probably turn 10. It's terrifying in this car right now with this setup. Gotta be smoother on the brakes. slow. Very sloppy, very sloppy. Okay, let me see if I can try to just keep it in gear here. And we go around. Okay, so let's go back out again and do one more run and get some new tires. Okay, this time I'm just going to try to be a little bit smoother so that we can collect at least 5 laps. I feel like I'm braking too late. Oh, that's a shame. Yes, that was nice. Much nicer through the S's. That's why we have traction control. You get on the gas, get on that throttle early. Not a good exit through turn 2 there. Every time. Really need to work on that corner next time. So I'm starting to back up my braking points. I'm starting to brake earlier and earlier because clearly I'm going in way too deep. We're definitely pushing the car, that's for sure. Fuck. And I spun it. And I'm getting a bunch of rocks back on the racetrack. Alright, we'll just take it easy this lap and then go back out. I don't know if I locked up the tires or anything, but the car is definitely very rotatey right now. More so than usual. Yeah, the rear tires are a little bit slick right now. I can feel them. I made a mistake going into that corner. I braked a little bit too easy. Messed up the exit there. Just the car's balance is not very good. Can't really get a good lap because of this. Alright, let's just bring it back into the pits. I really wanted to do more laps than this, but this is gonna have to do. I guess the whole point of doing more laps is definitely just to let the air pressures steady out and all that, but we're just gonna have to make do with what we got. Look how loose the car is. So much oversteer. Okay, so at least there's a grass patch here. I can turn the car around. Okay, let's just get back to the pits. Okay. Alright, so let's see. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the hot lap that we did there of 26.7. Basically, it was very hard going up through turn 1 to get the car to be stable. Definitely just kind of like oversteering on the way in. Then let's see what kind of speed we carry into that corner. 190, 180, 180 kilometers through there, through the braking zone. And then started speeding away. Here, the nose was a little bit difficult to point. Definitely wish I had a little bit stiffer front end for that corner, and then this one as well. Through the carousel, it was hard on the entry. The braking was difficult. Too much brake bias to the rear for that, or maybe to the front actually. It was difficult braking. Here also it was a little bit difficult to get the car wound up and rotate. It would rotate just fine. Through the S's the car was okay, maybe just a tad bit on the free side, but not too bad, very manageable still though. I didn't really have too many issues in the S's. And then coming through to turn 10, turn 10 was very scary majority of the times. And I had to go through there a little bit slower just to try to keep the car together. So 190 at the apex. Braking into turn 11 was okay. Basically just dealing with a little bit of too much oversteer, I think, on the fast corners. And then maybe not an adequate amount of roll or something. Okay, so let's get out of here. So there's 39 minutes remaining. Okay, so now we're back and we're going to go to Motec and we're going to load up the lap that we did. And I've got my Watkins Glen stuff as well for comparison. So let's see which one we want to look at. So the 126 is, yeah, okay, so we'll look at this one. Alright, so basically, let's start out with the tires. Unfortunately, the tires never really got up to working pressures, but we were close. Let's see, we got up to somewhere about 150 kPa. At least the balance here doesn't look too bad. Okay, not going to make any tire changes. Let me take some notes. So the tires for right now are fine. We don't know if they are under pressure. Right now the track was at 22C, so that's not cold or anything. It's not as hot as it could be, obviously. Tires, I mean, this doesn't warrant any changes. The tire temperatures. And so I updated this, but this is now this is officially my Porsche workbook that I'm working on. I'm still working on a lot of stuff and making upgrades, so bear with me. The cambers definitely don't look like anything alarming. If anything, usually I'm used to them looking a little bit different. Anyway, so 62 degrees C, 69, 68. We're getting more temperature in the right front, which is a little bit strange. Is it? I mean, we're making more left-hand turns, or no, right-hand turns. Yeah, we're making a little bit more right-hand turns, so that's kind of interesting. Maybe it was because of the spin that skewed the results. Let's see, this is my left front, and it's at 86. So here I'm looking at the tire temperatures, 86, 64, 62. So I mean, we're getting much higher tire temperatures in the front, and we're definitely getting higher tire temperatures in the lefts. So that's cool, that's fine. Okay, I mean, I can't make any changes based on this. All it tells us is that the balance of the car isn't too bad. Okay, let's move on to suspension. That's going to be a biggie. So let's see. Probably will include part of lap 4, but not all of it. Yeah, let's just do laps right until about to spin. Okay, so our velocities. Well, see, this is a case where we need the comparison. So let's go back to Watkins Glen and look at the histogram there. A 4-lap run at Watkins Glen. So we're looking at velocities of 31, 30, 32, and 36. So around 30 millimeters per second seems to be okay. So that was a good balance. So, okay, now let's go back to Sonoma. So the velocities are higher. So it's definitely bumpier. Maybe we might need, the balance of them is very good. But we do have some room here. I can see that perhaps we just need to go with a little bit more damping. So maybe let's try 2 clicks plus all dampers settings. Okay, that's what we'll do. Are the dampers working fine? The dampers look like they are working okay. Zeros. With this table, I look for zeros. Everything's fine. The symmetry is very nice. I think that the velocities are just a little bit too high. And we're not going to see anything bizarre here. So, okay, so that we've already caused a damper change. The roll ratio, I noted that in Watkins Glen, our roll ratio was 1.25. Here it's 1.26, 1.26, 1.25, 1.24. So the roll ratio really hasn't changed. Here you can see, just by the look of this plot here, that the car is a little bit freer than what my car usually ends up looking, because I usually have a lot of understeer in the front of it. This must have been a moment that we had. We may have spun the car, I don't remember. Let's look at a cleaner lap. Also, if we look at the first session, there were several times that I got really loose. Oh, that doesn't really show that many loose events. Okay, so here we're looking, and like this is an example of the outlap the first time out, and I remember we got super loose going into the carousel and went off, and then got really loose going into, I felt like, going into turn 10, and yeah, sure enough it shows up here. And I'm looking at the understeer angle, and you can see, I mean, small understeer events like this are pretty drastic. I don't have this perfectly tuned yet because it requires me to make a test with the Ferrari, which I haven't performed, but I just kind of put in a value that gave me a quick number when I came into the pits, and I went around the turn 10 entry and just made a guess there. But yeah, so understeer angle of 0.9 or so, that's pretty severe. Or at least the way it is right now, it's pretty severe for me. And you can see we have several oversteer events. Okay, so the roll angle is the same, but is it appropriate for this racetrack? I feel like this definitely needs a change. Let me see, what is our setup right now? So where are our any roll bars? ARB blades. We have a 10 on the front and a 1 at the rear. So we do have the front kind of stiff. the issue is that I don't want to induce more. I don't want to induce more understeer. My issue is really more with the fast corners. So we're probably going to go with more of an aerodynamic change. We're going to probably raise the wing. Let's look at either the wing or the. I'm not sure that I'm using that I've updated this, so I'm not going to go solid with these numbers. But this is the aero balance sheet, and I see the average aero balance for the fast corners as 37% front. So I'm thinking that maybe we can just raise the rear wing. I was considering making a right height change, but then that'll affect our low speed stuff, and I actually want to just move the center of pressure back only in the high speed. So a wing change is appropriate in this case. So we're going to move the wing up 2 holes. So we're at 2, we'll probably go to 4. Okay, so that will take care of that. Back to the chassis. 0.327 in the front. 0.327. I'm looking at my front roll gradient. Let's go back and compare to 0.336, 0.336, 0.327. A little bit more roll. It's very tough. I mean, I think maybe we do need to go up on the front bar just a tiny bit. 327, 422, 422, 422, 43. So the rear seems to 43. Okay. Yeah, let's look at so now I'm going to compare how the car was at Watkins Glen versus Sonoma. And so Watkins Glen would be the green one. So this is Watkins Glen. So there was more overall grip, higher G's under braking, higher G's while accelerating, higher G's while turning mechanically just a little bit. Lower G's here we're turning higher, but that might be because of the banking probably. So what does that tell us? Well, if we're going through less forces because they're trying lower grip on the racetrack than Watkins Glen, then that means that possibly, again, should we go softer? That is a good question. But we're definitely experiencing lower G's. That's for sure. Our friction circle looks like crap. This is back at Sonoma. That looks pretty shitty. Okay, so let's look at the transmission now. Or at least am I shifting at a reasonable place? I have no idea. Let's look at the acceleration through the S's. That doesn't look right. Yeah, the shift timing is not ideal. To do that actually, so let's look at our top speed. The top ground speed was 199. Sorry, So our top speed was 231, 234 top speed. 234. So we're going to adjust our gearing and the rear diff to match that a little bit better. What else? Let's look at our gears. Right. So in 6th gear, which was this one, let's make a change to this floats. So let's change this. Number 1, this should be ground speed. And then the color channel, I want that to be gear. We don't need that many bands. Fine. -1 must be reverse. Did I never even get to 6th gear? Okay, well, anyway, let's leave it alone. Definitely use first. So annoying. This is yeah, obviously I still have to work out a lot of stuff with these Motec sheets. Okay, so that'll put my mind at rest at which gear I'm looking at. Okay, so we went up to 5th only. We didn't even use 6th gear. So then that took us to 234 miles per hour. So that's going to require a big shift in the gearing. Okay. And let me see what RPM I was at. That's the fastest part of the racetrack over here. 230 miles per hour, and we were at top speed 234, and we were at 6192 RPM. It's going to be a big shift in the rear diff. Okay. We'll do that. We'll make a note of our fuel consumption. Let's see what it is. So this is what, a 45-minute race? So let's go to the engine settings, session lap, session time. I think it's a 45-minute race. So consuming fuel the way I would need about 54 liters. And obviously that means that I would need about 14 liters maybe to add for the, we'll see. I haven't tested these calculations before, so I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know if they're right or not, but my fuel consumption seems to be about 1.3 liters per minute. So I'll make a note of that, 1.3. liter per minute. Did have a lot of issues with the brakes. We did. So these, for some reason, have poor scaling. Okay, so that's better. Difficulties braking for sure. Holding consistent braking and being smooth. So I mean, we'll see if there's any way of smoothing out the brakes. So check brake pad material. Definitely would want to go to less gravity brakes. So we've checked the aero. We know what we're going to do with that. We're going to move it. We're going to change the damping. It's hard to decide what to do with the roll bars though, or the springs. Let me see what springs are on the car right now. 220s on the front and 260s at the rear. If there's less grip, most of the time you kind of want to go even softer. So I do, but then the damping will take care of some of the other issues. So we might just go softer on the front bar. Down one click, or one hole, or whatever. Okay, so those are the changes we're going to make then. We're going to leave the tires alone. We're going to go up on the damping on all the dampers and all the settings. We're going to go up on the rear wing 2 clicks. We're going to adjust the top speed to match. We're going to adjust the gear stack, basically. We're going to see if there's any brake pad changes that we can make, and then we're going to go softer on the front bar. Okay, so let's go back to iRacing. Okay, so we're lucky enough we did actually get back to the same session that we were in earlier, so now let's make our changes. Okay, so first change was definitely the, let's go up on the wing, 1, 2, good, took care of that. Let's see the brakes, brake bias we have, brake pads, okay, let's go low friction, nice. Okay, so that takes care of that. Brake pads, wing, on the dampers, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so we got our dampers sorted, and now let's see about the drivetrain. So the issue is that right now we're going 234 is our top speed. So let's see if we can get 6 gear to be something like that. That'll be a little bit too short. I'll look at the top speed here. So This one will be a little bit closer to red line. Well, we would need to check where the point of our maximum horsepower is, but 249 will still leave us a little bit of breathing room. 263 is way too high. Okay, so let's just conservatively go with this final drive ratio 2.7. So hopefully that'll leave us a few RPM and then a little bit better position on the power band. The diff felt fine. I'm not going to make any adjustments to diff, but now let's see, where are we on the springs? Okay, so we can definitely go softer on the rear and we can go stiffer on the rear. And small here. And where are we on the front? Small. 10. And that's as stiff as you can go. And the front springs, well, we can go softer on the front springs and we can go stiffer. So we're somewhere in the middle. So I need to make a decision quick because time on the session is going to be running out. I kind of want to go up on the bar instead of down, so we're just going to go to a medium bar, and then we're going to be maybe like at a 2. Alright, let's try it. How much time do we have? 6 minutes. Well, the brakes definitely feel a lot nicer. So I don't know how to make changes to the traction control on this car yet, because I haven't read or figured that out or really played with it. But I would probably want to increase the traction control. Just a little bit torquier now, it feels. So, yeah. And generally I felt better. The issue that I had was with the, well, just got a little bit loose there. Still, car definitely feels better in the faster stuff. I could be a little bit more aggressive, I feel like. Let's see, now we can hopefully get a clean lap. Okay, he went off. Thank you very much. Smooth on the brakes here. Still time for one more lap. Unfortunately, a car turned it in a little bit too abruptly. Okay, so we were able to beat our previous best on the last go around. I think the car definitely felt more consistent, where at least I could drive it. We got a good lap time the last time, sure, but the thing is that it was way too on the edge, and that's definitely not a raceable setup. We still have a little bit of issues here. I think we're kind of between gears a little bit, between first and second on some of these corners. Basically, turn 5 and turn 11. I think we need to make an individual gear change there, because gear 1 is a little bit too high, and gear 2 is a little bit too low to go through there. If I use first gear, then I can spin the tires. Basically, I'm getting a lot of wheel spin coming off of the hairpin. But then if I use the second gear, I feel like I might not be in the torque band really, and might be off the boost. So didn't feel very good exiting the corner. So that's a change that needs to be made. But now let's go and see, let's look at what kind of improvements we made from the first session with the first setup, and see how much better this one is. I mean, obviously we got a better lap time, sure, but... Okay, so we're back here on Motec now, and I'm looking at the changes that we made. Okay, so let's just go down the board. The first thing that we had made was change to the histogram, to the damping. So let's go ahead and compare that over here. So let's just remember at 35, 34, 38, 38. $35. Then let's call this one 36. This one's 35. 36, 35, 38, 38. 36, 35, 38, 36, 35, 38, 36, 35, 38, 38. Now we have more data this time. So yeah, so now that's gotten much better. 31, 32, 31, 32, 34, 33, 32, 32. So that's much, much nicer. The car felt better with that too, and was a little bit more planted. So I'm happy with that change. So that's a check. That worked in the direction that I wanted it to. The balance and the symmetry is still very nice. So I'm happy with that. Let's move on. The aero balance still seems to be around 37. That's because it does not take into account wing changes the way that I have it made. So right now I can make an adjustment to that, but we know that the high speed balance went a little bit better. I think we can now compare also. Let's go ahead and compare an early lap to this one and look at our oversteer understeer. Okay, so the green is the more recent lap, and you can see the roll angle or the roll ratio changed. So now it's lower. Basically, I made the front stiffer, which I did, and you can see that change reflected big time here from 0.32 to 0.44. And the rear changes, and it's going to change when you make a front roll bar change anyway, but it just changes minimally. You can see we did cause a lot more understeer in the car. You have a lot less, this bar here kind of moves over more to the right. And then the average understeer angle, I think, has gotten a little bit better. Just maybe not as many oversteer moments. Let's look at the grip factors. So, grip, overall grip, about the same. Braking, we were able to brake a little bit better. These stopped the car a little bit better. Accelerating, again, maybe we have an issue with gearing. And then the turning grip, we were able to achieve a higher lateral grip, 1.6, about the same for the high-speed corners. But I feel like I definitely felt more confident in the high-speed corners. So I'm going to call the wing adjustment a good one. Let's see the tires, if they reflect any we have to compare second lap to second lap. Okay, so let's see. Top speed. 234.7, and we were at the same speed. Lateral G's, just a little bit less. On the right turns, on the left turns, about the same. Braking, the average was a little bit higher. Understeer angle, the average was a little bit lower. So it actually suggests that we had less understeer this time, which it kind of felt better. I mean, what ends up happening sometimes is that when the car's so loose, you drive it as if in a way that you're going to induce understeer. Obviously, I was driving the track about the same, so our curvature was about the same, minimum was the same, maximum was about the same, standard deviation wasn't about 0.009. Steering angle rate, my hands were working a little bit faster on the second one, but that's because I don't know. Yeah, when it's really loose, you don't have a lot of confidence either. So you're either moving your hands fast because you're doing a lot of catches, or you're trying to be ultra smooth because it's so loose. So you can't be aggressive. So I could definitely turn in and move the car in a little bit more aggressively. Okay, so the front tire temperature is 58. Before it was 60, so a little bit cooler on the front left, a little bit cooler on the front right. And of course, this is just comparing lap 2s, I think. So, you know, it's not a huge deal, but yeah, our air pressure seemed to have been a little bit lower. I was definitely causing a lot more understeer, I guess, before. That's what it says here. So there was more understeer in the understeer angle. More understeer, so that's going to heat up the front tires a lot more. And we were sliding the rear some too. Let's look at the throttle. I guess that would be a big deal. Throttle position average was just a little bit higher. I was able to go to throttle a little bit easier. Throttle acceptance went down a little bit, and that's okay. They're still very close to each other. Full throttle percent of the lap. I was full throttle more of the lap and spent less time coasting. And this is just a mistake. I mean, really, the acceptance, maybe that's just a driver error, really. I'll have to check this math here because it doesn't make sense that one would be at 9.9 and the other one would be at 16%. Brake pressure, I was able to average more brake pressure. Brake application speed was fine. Smoothness, everything else was about the same. Okay, so I mean, and then the fuel usage was about the same. So I think that looks pretty good. I think that was clearly good adjustments. Now let's go back to the transmission and see what we can do here, because you'll see what I mean. Coming out of the last corner. On my fast lap. So between first and second gear, yeah, look at that. Huge difference there. I'm looking at the engine RPM, and when I get on the throttle, and I do this first little bit here, just having to be really easy on the throttle, but we're definitely not getting the type of drive out of there that we should, because here I'm at 4,400 RPM and then 3,800 in second gear. 3,800 might be a little bit too low. Let's go back and load up the data from Daytona. Yeah, 3,800 is a little bit too low. That's around like here. And we would rather at least be here. So 4,300, 3,800. I'm at 3,800 RPM. And I definitely want to be around 43, 3,800, 4,300. So we need an extra 500 RPM out of second. We need a lower second gear so I can use second gear. Make it a little bit taller gear, I guess, higher gear. Okay, so that'll be all right. So we're going to aim so that when I go to throttle, oops. We're going to aim so that such that when I go to throttle, my minimum speed here, I'm at 4,300 RPM. We can do the math and to figure out what 4,300 RPM is for 72 kilometers per hour kph. Okay, so then that'll sort that out. That's the slowest corner on the racetrack. It is. So then we'll set the minimum speed there, and then that'll help us get out of the hole a little bit better, and that should help out the lap time. So that was it. So in one swoop, we made several adjustments. It led to a small increase in the lap time, but definitely a big increase in probably what would be an average lap time. Maybe I need to go down on the front bar just a touch and go a little bit more on the damping all the way around, or consider maybe increasing the spring rate by just one click on all the springs. But we're going in the right direction and the balance is good, so we're getting somewhere. Okay, that was it. So see you guys later.